It's a curious time, isn't it? We're standing at a crossroads in American politics, and the air is thick with anticipation. The buzz around Project 2025 has become a talking point that Democrats are keen to leverage, especially Vice President Harris, who's been vocal about its implications. You can almost feel the tension in the room as polls indicate that a significant portion of likely voters, 3/4 to be precise, are not just aware of Project 2025, but oppose it. That's a staggering number. It's not just a whisper in the wind, it's a loud rallying cry. Now, let's unpack this. Project 2025 is being branded as a conservative blueprint for a second Trump term, and it's fascinating to see how both sides are maneuvering around it. Trump himself has been quick to distance himself from the project, claiming ignorance, saying he doesn't even know what it is. That's a strategic move, isn't it? When the numbers show that 63% of those aware of the project are against it, it makes sense for him to step back, to deflect. But here's the kicker. The very people who helped craft this blueprint are not just names in the shadows. They're prominent figures, former cabinet secretaries, and loyalists who've been in the trenches with Trump. Paul Dano, a former staffer and director of Project 2025, recently made headlines, stepping into the spotlight for his first television interview since leaving the project. He's been adamant that Trump's involvement is overstated. Sure, he acknowledges that many who contributed to the project came from the Trump administration, but he insists that it's not a direct reflection of Trump himself. It's almost like watching a game of political chess, where each piece is maneuvered with precision to avoid a checkmate. Dano describes Project 2025 as a unifying effort among conservatives, a coalition of 110 groups coming together to lay out a plan. He argues that the project is a way to invite Americans back into their government, a call to arms for those who feel disconnected from the political process. It's a noble sentiment, but it raises questions. If the project is a legitimate effort to engage citizens, why does it evoke such strong opposition? The conversation shifts to the content of the project itself, and that's where it gets interesting. Dano defends the ideas within it, pointing out that much of what people think is included is, in fact, misinformation. He's quick to dismiss the more extreme interpretations, but let's not kid ourselves. Some of the proposals are indeed controversial. From revoking access to abortion medication to dismantling the Inflation Reduction Act, these are not light topics. It's a balancing act, trying to position these ideas as common sense while acknowledging the very real backlash they provoke. When pressed about Trump's dismissal of the project as abysmal and ridiculous, Dano walks a tightrope. He doesn't want to alienate the base, yet he recognizes the need to lower the temperature in the discourse. It's a delicate dance, one that reflects the larger struggle within the GOP to maintain unity while navigating the choppy waters of public opinion. And what about the future? If Trump is re-elected, will Project 2025 become a reality? Dano expresses hope, but he's also realistic. The project is a collection of ideas, a manifesto of sorts, but it's not a guarantee of implementation. The political landscape is fluid, and what seems like a solid plan today could easily be derailed by unforeseen circumstances. As we delve deeper, the conversation turns personal. Dano admits to having been to Mar-a-Lago several times and meeting Trump only in passing. It's a reminder of the distance between the architects of these plans and the man at the top. When he claims Trump has nothing to do with the project, it's not just a statement. It's a reflection of the broader disconnect that often exists in politics. The people behind the scenes may craft the vision, but it's the figurehead who ultimately decides which direction to take. Dano's optimism shines through when he talks about the potential for a second Trump term. He believes that if Trump wins, it could be a moment for conservatives to rally together, to enact the changes they've long sought. He paints a picture of a country coming together, reminiscent of the unity felt after September 11th. It's a powerful image, but it also feels somewhat naive in the current climate of division. And therein lies the crux of the matter. The very essence of Project 2025 is about putting the American people back into their government. But what does that mean in a time when the public is so polarized? Can a blueprint that's so deeply rooted in conservative ideology truly resonate with a broader audience? Dano seems to think so, citing polling that suggests many Americans support ideas that align with the project's goals. Yet, as we look ahead to the debates and the upcoming election cycle, one thing is clear. Project 2025 is not just a policy document. It's a litmus test for the future of the Republican Party. It's a reflection of the ongoing struggle between traditional conservatism and the more radical elements that have emerged in recent years. As voters weigh their options, the impact of Project 2025 will undoubtedly shape the narrative leading up to the election. So, as we sit on the precipice of what could be a pivotal moment in American politics, the question remains: what will the future hold? Will Project 2025 be a rallying cry for conservatives? Or will it serve as a cautionary tale of what happens when ideology clashes with the realities of governance? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain: the stakes have never been higher.